Hi everyone. Today's podcast is not on any standard but is a very general topic, that is performance reporting. Performance reporting is the presentation of financial statement. Presentation of financial statement covers interim financial reporting, accounting policies, changes in accounting estimates and error discounted operation. What is performance reporting? Introduction starts with there are four IFRS and IAS standards that are relevant in helping investors assess the financial performance of an entity. Those four standards are IAS 1, presentation of financial statement. This outlines the recommended format and minimum content for an entity's financial statement and disclosure note. So IAS 1, presentation of financial statement, it gives the outline and minimum content of financial statement. Second standard is IFRS 5, non-current asset held for sale and discontinued operation. This outlines the impact on the presentation of the statement of profit or loss when an entity is discontinued during the period. The next standard is IAS 8, accounting policies, changes in accounting estimates and error. This ensures that entity select accounting policies that provide useful information about financial performance and position. Moreover, it provides accounting requirements that enable investors to able to draw adequate conclusion about financial performance after entity changes its accounting policy or estimate or corrects a prior period error. And the last and fourth is interim reporting or IAS 34, interim financial statements. This provides the principle to be followed if an entity produces financial statement for a period that is shorter than a full financial year. So performance reporting, there are four standards helping IAS 1 presentation: non-current asset held for sale, IFRS 5, IAS 8, accounting policy, estimates and errors, and last, interim reporting. Beginning with the IAS 1, presentation of financial statement. What are the components of financial statement? According to IAS 1, presentation of financial statement, a complete set of financial statement have the following component. You are already familiar with each one of them. The first is statement of financial position, that is balance sheet. Second is statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income, or statement of profit or loss with a separate statement for the comprehensive income. Third is statement of changes in equity. Fourth is statement of cash flow. And fifth is accounting policy note and other explanatory notes. Other reports and statement annual reports such as financial review or environmental report are outside the scope of IAS 1. So there are 5 things: income statement, balance sheet, statement of changes in equity, statement of cash flow, accounting policy notes and explanatory notes or disclosure notes. Now, what are the getting deeper into the topic, the statement of financial position or balance sheet, assets. Now, we will be discussing assets, liabilities. Now, IAS 1 says that entity must classify an asset as a current on the statement of financial position if we are talking about the current asset. If it is realized or consumed during the entity's normal trading cycle. Second, it is held for trading, or if it's realized or consumed during the entity's normal trading cycle, or it is held for trading, or it will be realized within 12 months of the reporting date. All of the assets are classified as non-current asset. So these are the current asset: realized or consumed, normal trading, or it's held for trading, or it is going to be realized or consumed within the 12 months. Other assets are all will be non-current asset. Now, liability. IAS 1 says that entity must classify liability as a current on statement of financial position if it is settled during entity's normal trading cycle, or it is held for trading, or it will be settled within the 12 months of the reporting date. All other liabilities are classified as non-current. Now, statement of profit and loss and other comprehensive income. IAS 1 provides the following definition, that other comprehensive income are income and expenses recognized outside of profit or loss as required by particular IFRS standard. So these are the income or the expenses that are recognized outside the profit or loss as required by the IFRS standards. Now, total comprehensive income. Total comprehensive income is the total of entities' profit and loss and other comprehensive further income. So, total comprehensive income is the total of profit and loss and other comprehensive income for the period. Now, what does the conceptual framework say in this? The conceptual framework states that statement of profit and loss is the primary source of information about an entity's financial performance. Income and expenses should normally be recognized in this income. Normally, when developing standard, the boards noted might decide that a certain income and expenses should be presented in other comprehensive income if the result from remeasuring an item to current value, and if this means that the profit and loss provide more relevant information or it provide a more faithful representation of an entity's performance. IAS 1 requires that other comprehensive income is classified into two groups as follows. First, the items that might be reclassified or recycled to profit or loss in the subsequent accounting period. For example, foreign exchange gain or loss arising on the translation of a foreign operation, IAS 21. The effective parts of cash flow hedging instrument, IFRS 9. Remeasurement of investment in debt instruments that are classified as fair value through OCI, or the comprehensive income. And secondly, items that are not reclassified or recycled to profit or loss in subsequent accounting periods. Changes in the revaluation surplus, IAS 16 and IAS 38, remeasurement component on defined benefit plan, IAS 19, and remeasurement of investment in equity instruments that are classified as fair value through other comprehensive income. According to the conceptual framework, income and expenditure included in other comprehensive income should be reclassified to profit and loss. When doing so, result in profit and loss, providing more relevant information. However, when developing or amending an IFRS standard, the board may decide that reclassification is not inappropriate if there is no clear basis for identifying the amount or timing of reclassification. IAS 1 requires an entity to disclose income tax relating to each component of other comprehensive income. Means we have to disclose income relating to each component of other comprehensive income. This may be achieved by either disclosing each component of other comprehensive income net of any related tax effect, or disclosing other comprehensive income before related tax effect with one amount showed for the tax amount. Entities can prepare one combined statement showing profit or loss for the year and other comprehensive income, OCI. Alternatively, an entity can prepare statement of profit and loss and a separate other comprehensive income. So, what is the pro forma for the statement of profit and loss and other comprehensive income is revenue minus cost of sales, net will be the gross profit. Add other operating income minus distribution costs minus admin expenses minus other operating expenses minus finance costs plus share of profit of associate. The net amount will be profit before tax less any income tax expense. The net amount will be the profit for the year. Now, other comprehensive income, items that will not be classified to profit or loss. Add changes in revaluation surplus, remeasurement gain on defined benefit pension plan, remeasurement of equity investment designed to be accounted for through other comprehensive income. Income tax relating to items that will not be reclassified will be deducted. Net will be the amount. Items that may be classified subsequently through profit and loss. cash flow hedge, exchange positive, exchange difference on translation of foreign operations, minus the income tax relating to item that may be reclassified, net total comprehensive income net of the tax of year, total comprehensive income for the year. Now the profit will be divided between the owner of parents and non-controlling interest. Same, the total comprehensive income attributable to the owner of parent and non-controlling interest. Now, statement of changes in equity. IS1 require changes in equity arising from transaction with owner in their capacity as owner to be presented separately from non-owner changes in equity. This include issues of shares and dividend. A comparative statement of prior must also be established. General features of financial statement. First is going concern. The conceptual framework states that financial statements are normally prepared on the assumption that the reporting entity will continue for a foreseeable future. In other words, it is assumed that the entity will not enter into liquidation or cease to trade. IS1 states that management should assess whether the going concern assumption is appropriate. Management should take into account all the available information about the event with at least 12 months of the end of the reporting period. The following are the indicators of going concern uncertainty: lack of cash and cash equivalent, increased level of overdraft and other form of short borrowing, major debt repayment due in the next 12 months, a rise in the payable days, increased level of gearing, negative cash flow arising particularly in relation to operating activities, disclosure of provision relating to material legal claims, large impairment losses. Where there is uncertainty, management should consider all the available information about the future, including the current and expected profitability, debt repayment, finance, and potential sources of alternative finance. If there is greater doubt of uncertainty, then more work will be required to evaluate whether or not the entity can be regarded as going concern. Once the management have assessed that there is no material uncertainty as to the ability of an entity to continue for a foreseeable future, the financial statement should be prepared on the assumption that entity will in fact continue. In other words, financial statement will be prepared on a going concern basis. Accrual basis of accounting. The accrual basis of accounting means that transactions and events are recognized when they occur, not when the cash is received or paid for them. Are recognized when they occur rather than when cash is received or paid for them. Consistency of presentation. The presentation and the classification of items in the financial statement should be retained from one period to the next period unless it is clear that the changes will result in more appropriate presentation or changes required by IFRS or IS standard. Materiality and aggregation. As an item is material if its omission or misstatement could influence the economic decision of user undertaken on the basis of the financial statement. This could be based on the size or nature of omission or misstatement. When assessing the materiality, entity should consider the characteristics of users of its financial statement. It can be assumed that user have the knowledge of business and accounting. To aid user understanding, financial statements should show material classes of items separately. Immaterial may be aggregated with amounts of similar nature as long as it does not reduce understandability. Offsetting. IS1 says that assets and liability and income and expenses should only be offset when required or permitted by an IFRS standard. Asset and liability and income and expenses can only be offset when required by IFRS standard. Comparative information from the period should be comparative information for the previous period should be disclosed. Now disclosure note presentation. IS1 says that entities must present their disclosure note in a systematic order. This might mean giving prominence to the most relevant areas, grouping items measured in a similar way such as asset held at fair value, following the order in which items are presented in a statement of profit and loss and statement of financial position. Compliance with IFRS standard, entities should make an explicit and unreserved statement that their financial statement comply with IFRS standard. Means you should make an explicit and unreserved statement that their financial statement comply with accounting standards. Now, accounting policies. Entities must produce an accounting policy disclosure note that detail the measurement base or basis used in preparing financial statement like historical, fair value, etc. Each significant accounting policy. Sources of uncertainty. An entity should disclose information about the key sources of estimation uncertainty that may cause a material adjustment to the asset and liability within the next year. Example, the key assumption about the future. Reclassification adjustment. The reclassification adjustment are amounts recycled from other comprehensive income to profit and loss. IAS 1 requires that the reclassification adjustment are disclosed either on the face of statement of profit and loss and other comprehensive income or in notes. Investor's perspective. This is an extract from accounting policy note on the intangible asset impairment. Given the subjectivity involved, actual outcome could vary significantly from this estimate. Amortization. Amortization is recorded to write down intangible assets to their residual value over their estimated useful life. The selection and review of these residual value and estimated useful life require exercise of management judgment. The disclosure note highlight the key estimates and uncertainties that impact the carrying amount of reporting entities' intangible asset balance. This reminds investors that measuring and reporting these assets relies on estimation technique. Although management should be professionally competent and objective, there is always a risk that their estimate may be inaccurate, whether intentional or not. Criticisms of the use of other comprehensive income. The accounting treatment and guidance with respect to other comprehensive income has been criticized in the recent year. Some of the criticisms are as follows. Many users ignore other comprehensive income since gain and losses reported in other comprehensive income related to the operating cash flow of an entity. As a result, material losses presented in other comprehensive income may not be given the attention that they require. Second, the notion of classifying gain or losses from other comprehensive income is unclear, particularly with regard to items that are recycled and when. Reclassification. Third, reclassification from other comprehensive income to profit and loss result in profit and loss being recorded in different period from the changes that related asset or liability. This contradicts with the definition of income and expenses in the conceptual framework. The third topic of this presentation standard is report performance reporting is IFRS 5 non-current asset held for sale and discontinued operation. As discussed, it is deeply discussed earlier in detail. The next fourth topic is IAS 8 accounting policies, changes in accounting estimates and errors. This is discussed in other YouTube video or podcast. And the fifth is IAS 34 interim financial reporting. This is also discussed. So this marks the end of the chapter performance reporting, covering the presentation and other the four standards. Do give me a feedback in the comment section and feel free to share this video. Bye.